Welcome to another Cardano update. Like always, check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon if you want access to all of our charts and if you want access to our Discord server, and I hope you enjoyed this video. So as you can see, Cardano is still going sideways, which is not really surprising considering the fact that it went up quite a lot in November. So of course it's going sideways now. And keep in mind, what Cardano did in the previous cycle was very similar to what it's doing right now. So it went up 100% in November. Let's go on the daily for this, I guess. It went up 100% in November. It completed a first wave move of the main third wave move, just like we did right now. As you can see, I mean, you cannot really see because there are a lot of things there, but the first wave move of the third wave is somewhere here, and it's almost complete. And yeah, we need a second wave move down right now. And if you look at what happened in the previous cycle, in the second wave move down, as you can see here, the second wave move down low actually happened just in 2 days. So in a matter of 2 days, we got the second wave move down low, and then after that, we proceeded to do absolutely nothing for the entire month of December. Now, why is this important and why is this relevant? Well, because we have copied what we did over here, so there is a chance that we copy what we did in December as well, and then when January starts, that's when the real altcoin season starts for Cardano. So yeah, I don't believe the altcoin season has even started for Cardano. Even though we're at like $1, that's nothing right now. At least that will be nothing when you look back at it in like 4 months. And trust me, I was making videos when we were down here, and this was a painful ride. I mean, nobody watched my videos when we were down here. People are only watching them right now. I mean, our views are up like 5x. So of course nobody cared down here, but keep in mind, if you want to make money in this space, and by the way, this is not financial advice, but you know, it makes sense what I'm saying. If you want to make money in this space, you have to buy when the prices are low. Right now, the prices are not really low. I mean, Cardano is at like $1 right now. If you bought down here, you would already be up almost 4x. And if you look at what happened in the previous cycle, we never really had a big correction after the first wave move. Yes, the second wave was a 40% drop, but it happened in like 2 days. And if you look at it from a daily chart perspective, it does not really look like anything. Now, of course, you could say that maybe the first wave topped right here, but even then, I mean, where exactly is the correction? We did not really get a correction, and what I mean to say with this is that when Cardano starts going up, it just does not stop. Now, I also want to look at the Bitcoin dominance chart for a second. In this video, I will actually talk about pretty much everything I've talked about for the past few months or so. And what is that? Well, Bitcoin dominance first, then we will talk about Bitcoin, then we will talk about fear and greed, and then we will talk about a couple more things. First is the Bitcoin dominance chart. So, Bitcoin dominance keeps going down right now. A new month has just started, we are now in December, which means that Bitcoin dominance could theoretically start going up right now, because if you can remember what happened in the previous cycle, in this cycle, in the 2020 cycle, we also went down in November, we tested the bull market support band, and then in December we went up again, and then in January we started the real altcoin season, so we could do the exact same thing again. Now, as you can see, right now we are below the bull market support band, so if we want to really believe that we will get a new cycle high in December, then Bitcoin dominance has to start reversing right now. I also want to talk about the daily chart. Now, why the daily chart? Well, as you can see, the daily chart is almost oversold, so it could be the case that Bitcoin dominance just goes up right now because it's almost oversold on the daily. Speaking of the daily, let's also go on the 4-hour chart. On the 4-hour chart, we are oversold right now. So be very, very careful with this. Now keep in mind, we just had a cross on the bull market support band. We had it, I believe, on the weekly, so the red line went above the green line here, so that's usually a good sign for the altcoin season, but we'll see what that means once we actually get some kind of drop. As you can see in the previous cycle, when we got that cross on the bull market support band, that confirms that the cycle high was already in. We did not get another high after that, so right now it's 50-50, and I don't know exactly what will happen, but if we follow what we did here, then Bitcoin dominance has to continue going down right now and not go up. We should really stay below the bull market support band if we want to confirm that it has stopped. And honestly, it would not really make sense to get a new cycle high after we get a cross, but you never know. I also want to talk about the fact that in the 2016 halving, well, after the 2016 halving, let me put that on the chart, 230 days after the halving, Bitcoin dominance stopped. And that's when we had the first altcoin season. That's when the real altcoin season actually started. In the 2020 halving, after the 2020 halving, 230 days later, we topped on the Bitcoin dominance chart, the exact same number of days as the 2016 cycle. And right now, in this cycle, it has been like 220 days since the halving, and what do you know? Bitcoin dominance is currently going down. So there is a chance that we have already topped on the Bitcoin dominance chart, at least based on what happened in the previous two cycles. And yeah, we'll see if it actually continues to go down. If it keeps continue going down, like I said, a break below, let's say 55% would pretty much confirm that an altcoin season has started. And yeah, once we do start going down, we should start going down like we did over here. Now that's enough with the Bitcoin dominance chart. Let me go on the Bitcoin chart right now. Let's go on the 4-hour and let me add the Fibonacci retracements and the Elliott wave on the chart. And yeah, I mean, Bitcoin is still looking quite well. It's currently trying to get another third wave high right here, and we will most likely get to about 120k by the end of the year, because as you know, Bitcoin goes up quite a lot in a halving year in December, so I'm expecting this year to be no exception, and we should see Bitcoin above 100k very soon, and I would not be surprised if we got to like 130k before we got any type of correction. And keep in mind, when we do get a correction, it's going to be very fast, because when Bitcoin gets corrections during the bull market, yes, it does get corrections, but you know, they don't last months like this one did. I mean, this one right here, or, you know, maybe this right here. No, they just last days, maybe even not days, maybe hours. So if you want to buy Bitcoin right now, which I believe is a big mistake, but if you want to buy right now, then you should wait for some kind of correction, in my opinion. Now keep in mind, there is a chance that we never get another correction, and you know, the next correction could be the next bear market, and I believe that will be in 2026, so yeah, now, also keep in mind, if we want to follow what we did in the 2016 cycle and the 2020 cycle, Bitcoin has to continue going up until like October of 2025, because as you can see, after the 2016 halving, Bitcoin went up for about 540 days. And then after the 2020 halving, Bitcoin went up for another 550 days. So if we want to copy what we did in these two cycles, then we have to continue going up until October of next year. And what that means is that we will most likely just copy what we did in the previous cycles, and Bitcoin will most likely get to about 255k in this cycle, maybe even more, maybe less, I don't know, but somewhere in this region right here between, let's say, 190k and 320k should be very reasonable. I'm not gonna talk too much about this. If you want to know more about my opinion about Bitcoin, make sure to check out my other Cardano videos. And I actually want to talk about the Fear and Greed Index. As you can see, Bitcoin currently has a Fear and Greed Index of extreme greed, and it's at 81. And this should not really surprise you, considering the fact that in the previous cycle we did a similar thing. As you can see, the Fear and Greed Index in 2020 during November and December was at like 92 to 95, so it was even higher than it is right now. And yeah, as you know, the ending of a halving year is usually a bullish time for Bitcoin, so we should continue going up, at least judging it based on what happened here. Now keep in mind, I'm just gonna read this to you. Extreme fear can be a sign that investors are too worried. That could be a buying opportunity. Right now we are not in extreme fear. Do you want to know when the market was in extreme fear? Down here in about, let's say, August. It was at a fear and greed level of about 70. And what happened during that time? Well, if you check out the Bitcoin chart, Bitcoin actually dropped to 49k during that time. So this could have been the best buying opportunity if you judged this based on the Fear and Greed Index. The best time to buy is when everybody is fearful, and the best time to sell, or at least, not buy, is when everybody is greedy. And what do you know? Right now, everybody is in extreme greed. So be very, very, very careful with this. Just read this. When investors are getting too greedy, that means the market is due for a correction. Now that's not always the case, and the markets could stay at an extreme greed level for a very long amount of time, but that does not mean that we will not get corrections. We will get corrections on the way. Don't expect these charts to go up forever. At some point they need to cool off. Right now, I don't believe we will cool off. I believe we'll continue going up, but keep that in mind. I mean, that's also something that you need to know. Now, going back to Cardano, this is a Cardano video after all. I'm still expecting this coin to do quite well, and honestly, somewhere between $5 to $8 could be a very good selling opportunity. Now, if people have asked me when they should sell, and this is not financial advice, me personally, I would start selling somewhere maybe right here at like $3 when we are near the all-time highs, then at about $4, then $5, and honestly, I would get rid of all of it at like $6. I mean, yes, I do have Cardano. I'm not gonna tell you my exact strategy, because if it does not play out or if it does not work out, I don't want you to lose your money. But just so you know, I would not really sell at $1, or at least right now, especially if you bought like up here or down here. Well, if you bought at like 20 cents, then, taking some profits is not too bad. I mean, you could take some profits right now. You would be up almost 5x, so I think that's pretty good, but, I would not get rid of all of it. I still think Cardano will go higher and higher. So yeah, that's all I have for this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon if you want to support the channel. And if you want access to all of our charts and our Discord server, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.